10th, 2025. For those in the room, the exits are to the front of the building and to the rear of the building. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to start with, we still have open hearing on the proposed zoning amendments. So if anybody here would like to, actually, I don't have to open because it's already open, getting that. But if there's anyone here that would like to speak with regards to the zoning amendments, so it's all right. How about on Zoom, Janet?
No one, Tony.
No? Okay. All right, next we have public comment. Anyone here would like to speak? Yes, your name, Hamlet, and you have 3 minutes.
There was nothing on the public hearing, but don't we have to say what day that it's extended to? Sorry, I didn't.
Oh, that's a good point, but I thought we had extended it.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Whenever we finish comment, or there's, we just extend it out to a minimum date, so.
Okay,
Today's the 10th.
the 24th, yes, so motion to keep the public hearing open until November 24th. I'm sorry.
I did send an email to the board about this with recommendations that were made by local business owners for further discussion by the board and our consultants.
Right, and the only two chapters of the zoning that are not being, so the intent is to adopt the ones that we reviewed at the last work session, but the two that remain open and for further review is the excavation and fill and the steep slopes.
Yeah, the DOT 220 is what we're heading toward.
Yes.
Okay, so.
And for our friends at home, 220 is the large overview of all the zoning regulations for the town that we've updated as a result of the work we've been doing with the comprehensive plan, which was last updated before this year in 1984.
Okay,
Did we
so
pick a date?
March 24th, yeah, March 24th, sorry. So the motion, I keep. Crazy. March 24th, yes, so second discussion, all in favor? Aye. Okay, next we have public comments. You may continue.
Hi, I'm Ann Leathers and I'm from the Goldens Bridge Colony, and these are my neighbors, Mary Mahoney, John Berger, and Abaz Nuza. And I'm here to discuss for the last 4 years, our community has been working with John Winter, Tony Gonsalves, and Peter Rippiger on a project to pave 3 entryways on Pond, Main, Lake Street to improve and stabilize the entrances, prevent erosion, runoff into our lake, and improve drainage. John and Tony have visited our community several times to plan this work, and we met with Tony this past Friday, March 7th, to review the funding for the project. Our community has discussed this proposed project at several community-wide informational meetings. A community-wide vote was held in 2023, which overwhelmingly supported the work at the 3 entrances. Tony and John obtained proposal for an engineering plan for the project addressing issues around working in the wetlands area. Tony has just circulated that report to the town board. I understand that there is money available for paving and drainage work in this year's highway budget, but the project needs an additional $33,000 for the engineering plan to move forward. We have waited for several years for this paving project while the dust and drainage into our wetlands and lake is getting worse. I'm asking the town board's support for this expense if Tony is unable to find a grant to cover the additional funds for this month. We asked the town board to allocate $33,000 from the general funds so that the project can move forward this year when there is funding available for the actual paving work. Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak? No? How about on Zoom?
So Pond, Main, and Lake are the roads that go in one way, right?
Correct. Yep. No, are they one way? No, I don't think they're one way.
No, one is one way, Main Street is one way, Lake and on
Or two way.
2 ways.
What is the other street that comes in that's dirt, but then it connects to another street that comes?
Danger Road.
Was it?
That is a danger road.
There's a
Danger.
cut through Danger Road.
Okay,
Yeah.
because there's a house that's partially stone, like a nice one on the corner there of 138. And then you make a left and then there's like, I think we just put stop signs there and then you
Oh,
make
that's
another.
all, you're talking about all.
Yes,
On and left on.
and that's also dirt, right?
Guys help you put in the stop signs.
Stop signs. But those roads are also dirt roads, are they not?
The whole colony is dirt except for Hillside. which is
Okay.
driving.
Yeah, we should be
Okay.
having, we're not supposed to have,
Sorry about that.
we're
Well,
not supposed to have
just
I
discussion,
meant to
but
ask
yeah,
you.
yeah, it's all right.
Hillside is half paved. half
Okay.
paved.
All right. Oops.
Hillside is halfway paved, so
Okay.
like you come in on Pond, you take a left on Hillside, dirt, and about
Right.
2/3 down it becomes paved.
Right, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Sorry about that. too.
Yeah.
And anyone else on Zoom?
Yes,
Public comment?
Barbara Mangione, I'm asking you to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Hello?
can.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I really wasn't intending to speak, but just want to mention that if we're going to start requesting specific roads to be paved, I just think that the town should have something out there, maybe some kind of survey prior to that, to see what's going on with the different roads. It's a big town. There's a lot of roads, and there's a lot of roads that are in relatively poor condition that haven't been touched in many, many years. So rather than just saying, okay, we're going to allot $20,000 to this area, I would like to see some kind of survey done, some kind of study to see what roads are in what kind of shape and to prioritize them. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Barbara. Simone O'Connor, I'm asking you to unmute.
Thank you. I also wasn't going to speak, but the roads by our house are horrible. I've gone into ditches. My tires are getting forever messed up. I've had to pay to repair because of the ditches, and I'm talking about town roads, not state roads. I also will remind you that Oak Ridge, with their disgusting water situation, they're all being charged for this. So perhaps that could be looked at, different parts of where we reside and who is responsible for paying. I certainly want everyone to be happy, but I'd like to be happy in Vista as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Simone. And that's it, Tony.
Okay, thank you, Janet.
Mhm.
Okay, next, communications. I just have one item. This is a letter from the New York City DEP. They're gonna be flying a helicopter over the course of the next 2 weeks. This is over the Leon Levy Preserve. Let me just read this here. It's for what they call easement management. So we have an easement within property that they own. So they on occasion will fly over the property to view the property and inspect it so that they can compare current conditions with their baseline documentation of the property. So if anyone sees a helicopter over Leon Levy, that's what it is.
They're not looking for spaceships?
I don't know, maybe.
I think that might be on a need to know basis.
Exactly, right.
Okay,
Okay, next is the consent agenda. So I'd like to go ahead and motion approval of the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of February 24th, 2025, and the monthly reports from the building department and the police department.
so moved.
Have a second. Discussion, all in favor? Aye. Okay, we don't have any old business, so new business. The first item is Derek Anderson, who is the president and CEO of Northern Westchester Hospital, is here to give a presentation, which I have here on my laptop. And I just want to preface by saying that being part of, I'm on the President's Council, so I get to meet with Derek and a bunch of other people every once in a while. And it's amazing some of the initiatives and programs that they have at Northern Westchester, which is part of Northwell. And Derek is going to give us an overview of some of that today. So I'll get the presentation up and I'll screen share over Zoom as well.
What's the President's Council?
President's Council is a group made up of local leaders, supervisors from different agencies, municipalities, and organizations.
As well as,
Um,
county legislators.
and count, correct, right, yeah.
Thank you for that, Tony. So good evening, Derek Anderson. I'm kind of on my home turf this evening. I live in the town of Lewisboro, so it is an absolute privilege to be with you tonight. And thank you to the supervisor who's incredibly active with the hospital. For us, and I'll be as brief as possible on this presentation, but I think it's important that we come out and provide you with, what's been happening, what's on the horizon. All of these are representing investments in healthcare in our community. And I think it's important as we look over the next 5, 10, 15 years, how do we make sure that we're building good quality healthcare close to home? And so I am grateful to work with the hospital. I've been in this role now for almost 6 years. Right before COVID pandemic came, I joined Northern Westchester from Northwell. And so if I may, just a couple of important initiatives. The first is, thank you for advancing the slide.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, perfect. Thank you. Starting in May, we've been working for the past 18 months with the 8 or so school districts in this region to develop a program that supports our youth. If we think of all the many crises happening within our communities, one is around children and teens who don't have good access to mental health services. We see these kids end up in our emergency department, who often have to wait. We are lucky that we have Four Winds Hospital right here in Cross River, but there's not always enough capacity. And these kids don't often need inpatient acute type of services. They simply need support with anxiety, depression, suicidality. And so I'm also excited to hear my colleague who will talk about Thrive in just a few minutes. I know that's on the agenda. So what this program is, we're incredibly excited about this. This is a rendering of a center in Mount Kisco. It's right next to Ben & Jerry's, trying to centralize off of kind of major highways close to train stations so that we're giving good access to those who may need it. Does not matter if you have insurance or no insurance. Think of this like an urgent care center for kids with mental health issues. And so as we work with each of the superintendents of the schools, Lewisboro is included in this initiative. They're very excited to participate. It's administered through BOCES, but all of the clinical and administrative expertise come from Northwell. So Dr. Vera Foyer is our head of child psychiatry. Renowned in this space, leads close to 65 school districts in Long Island in this program. We're excited to have this program here locally. So this is an urgent care center with think of it like a private practice. And so those two work hand in hand. So teachers, educators, school superintendents, as they identify children who have mental health needs, and we think of our own children, we think of our grandkids, certainly we can identify many who resonate with this topic. And the challenge is, where do I go? How do I find a doctor? If I find a doctor, it's a 6-month wait. It's private pay. Many do not take insurance. We have good providers in the area, just overwhelmed. And so what this does is it adds a centralized location that effectively are walk-in hours, just like an urgent care center. Schools work with us on these programs. So we have communication with the schools. If someone is identified by the school, we'll work very closely to get them in same day. So a lot of good support for the 8 school districts in this area. We're very excited about this. And this center is opening, the actual clinical part is opening in May. And then the school-based program starts when the kids come back in school this fall. And like I said, Lewisboro, John Jay is included in this program.
Is this the building where Calico Corners used to be?
Yes. Very good. Yeah. And it's right next to Ben & Jerry's. So you can't beat that.
But the nice thing about, I've seen some of the plans through our communications. The nice thing about it is set up in a way where the teenagers won't feel like they're going to
An institution.
and they won't be going to a kindergarten either. it's something that's thoughtfully put together. And there's also going to be space for meetings as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And potentially maybe even support
Absolutely.
for the parents or the loved ones who are bringing the students or the children in.
Yeah. And this includes, Mary, thank you for that, because I failed to mention, this includes almost endless programming for parent. It's all free through the schools. Almost every evening, if a parent wants to plug in on a topic related to mental health, we have an expert that's hosting some form of a Zoom session where they can ask questions and get engaged and say, hey, my kid's struggling with this. What do I do? How do I, very practical tips. And so,
So you won't have to drive to Mount Kisco to get those Zoom meetings.
correct. Yeah, and that started this past school year. So those have been sent out. I know Lewisboro has been distributing it. I've seen it through our own communications at home. And so, and families plugging in and connecting with it. So it's good. Really, the goal is to prevent even one child who feels like they have to end in a crisis. Next topic, if I may, just kind of going through this quickly. We've never thought of Northern Westchester Hospital as a trauma-based center. But if you look at the map, all of Westchester County and Putnam County, there is only one trauma center serving 1.2 million people. If you look at our neighboring county in Fairfield, Connecticut, you have similar population density, almost a million, 1.1 people, 11 trauma centers. Now, we think about access to good care. What happens in an emergency? Right now, if an emergency happens in our town here in Lewisboro, they could go down to Stamford, they could go to Danbury Hospital, and it's not often coordinated. I hear this from many of the local VACs and fire departments, that the burden, all the volunteers, as we know, volunteerism continues to be a challenge, and how do we rally? As they've shrunk in their ranks in many communities in this region, the travel to outside of this community could end up being 2 to 3 hours round trip, taking a volunteer away from their personal commitments, as well as just taking an ambulance out of service for that long. So the goal is to get, from a public health standpoint, volunteers, VACs, fire departments back to their communities as quickly as possible. And so we're actively seeking trauma designation from the regional and state regulators to become a trauma center in Northern Westchester. So very exciting. And this simply provides high quality care close to home. Next slide. You may have heard about this. Last year, we started we became a teaching hospital. We now train physician residents at Northern Westchester. Started with internal medicine. This year and into next year, we're starting a surgery and OB. You'll see some of the other programs that are being trained: cardiology, hematology, palliative care. These are critical talent pipeline. We think about having enough physicians in the community. We think about having good access, not having to travel to the city for healthcare. Part of that is having good physicians and good talent. And so these are programs that we're building for 5-10 years from now, that as they train, the goal is to get them rooted and connected to this community. So they'll set up their practice, join, whether it's us as Northwell or Optum or any other medical groups, so that we can continue to have them in our community for years to come. Next slide. Access has been an issue. We hear about this, we read about this a lot. How do I get a hold of my doctor? Patients in this region and most parts of the United States are getting sicker and sicker. Emergency departments are getting busier and busier. The ER at Northern Westchester has grown in volume by 17% just in the last 4 years. And so how do we plan for this? All of these dots are representing a Northwell location in Westchester. So I just want to put this out there. I'm often asked, it's almost every day of the week. Yesterday was for a urologist. Almost every day of the week, I'm asked, how do I get in to see a specialist? What's the best way? And frankly, I want to make sure everyone's aware that Northern Westchester, Northwell Health, we have significant footprint right here close to home with access to providers almost daily. Okay. Just very quickly, investments in the hospital. we're finalizing, we just received state approval to proceed, and just working with the Village of Mount Kisco on the final details, but we're looking to start a full renovation of our obstetrics unit. You think of a hospital and a community, one of the foundational elements is having a very strong OB program that will attract families to a community. We have a level 3 NICU, which is the highest level NICU in a hospital. And so very good NICU care, almost 2,300 deliveries happen in Northern Westchester. So it's a very busy, active maternity center. And really, the unit is about 55 years old. If anyone wants to see carpet or swatches from paint colors from 1971, let me know and I will make sure to save them for you. But otherwise, the unit is getting a full investment. And this is something we've been saving our kind of going through the couch cushion, saving our pennies for, really anxiously awaiting and planning. This is a $49 million investment. Okay. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this. I talked about the ER and how busy it's become. This is an expansion of our emergency department that we should be starting in the next few months. We're just waiting for state approval. And lastly, just, we talked about the President's Council. Thank you to as the supervisor who actively participates in that. Your voice in Lewisboro is represented through the supervisor in that session. And frankly, we appreciate it because he helps us shape some of these initiatives that ultimately are what is needed in our communities. We have active engagement with a family advisory committee. That's such a good group, fun to engage on. We work on projects. We have a community foundation board. And so these are 35 representatives from various areas and towns that help us think about the future of the hospital. And lastly, just so many ways for people to get involved from a volunteer standpoint. So I think what's important for us as a hospital is these are initiatives that are happening now and over the next couple of years. What do we need to be thinking about 5-10 years from now? And so that's it. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm grateful for the opportunity to get on your agenda tonight and share some of the exciting stuff that's happening at the hospital. So thank you.
Any questions from the board?
Full disclosure, I work at New Vance Health as a medical librarian, and New Vance and Northwell have been in the process of going through integration that is going to be hopefully signed off on by the state of Connecticut because it's going across the border. It's already been approved by the Federal Trade Commission,
Correct.
as well as the state of New York.
Correct. Yeah.
So,
Excellent.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it as well.
yes.
One of our first touch points, I go stand in front of the room and there's Mary sitting there on the third row. So at Norwalk, it was a very welcome face. So
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Derek. And keep up the good work. It's good stuff happening there. Okay, so next we have, oh yeah, I did, yeah. Let me just okay, we can let's turn this off here.
Yeah,
There you
go. All right, so next we have Dr. Armand Collins of Thrive. Thrive is well, I'll let Mary speak to it.
I'm liaison
She's
for
the liaison, yes.
I'm liaison for the Thrive Coalition. It's a coalition of 3 communities: Lewisboro, of course, the best one of all, Bedford, and Pound Ridge. And it is a coalition to work on drug use prevention and to promote mental wellness for people in middle school. I said it correctly, I didn't say junior high this time, and high school. And hopefully with further work that we would expand to serve the greater community as well. And Dr. Armand Collins is a clinical psychiatrist. I can't remember which hospital.
I'm at Phelps.
At Phelps Memorial, and is our first representative, and we potentially have 2 more people who have expressed interest. So hopefully we'll be full up
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the intro. So hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Armand Collins. I'm a psychiatrist in the community and Lewisboro representative to Thrive. As Mary was just saying, Thrive is a tri-town initiative, including Bedford, Lewisboro, and Pound Ridge, dedicated to youth mental health and substance use awareness, education, and prevention. I'm here tonight to introduce Isabella Peckdahl, who is our newly appointed coalition coordinator for Thrive. Isabella will be integral in supporting Thrive members, executing our initiatives, and fostering collaboration throughout our communities. Isabella comes to us with a strong background in public health and community engagement. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Public Health with a minor in Child Welfare and Family Studies from Plymouth State University. And I'll add that she graduated there with magna cum laude. Before joining Thrive, Isabella served as a community health worker at South Coast Health, where she worked in diverse care teams to connect high-risk patients directly to critical resources. In addition, Isabella has demonstrated a deep commitment to public health, advocacy, community education, and volunteerism. She's contributed to health promotion initiatives. She's also researched youth risk behaviors, and she's helped develop community-based prevention programs. All of these impressive items really show her expertise in research, data collection, and outreach coordination. And she will be invaluable in advancing Thrive's ongoing development into a really high capacity, strategic, and well-developed program to support our communities. We are so excited to welcome Isabella to this role, and we look forward to the positive impact she will continue to have in strengthening our mission. And with that, I'll hand things over to Isabella, who will share some exciting news about recent funding that was granted to Thrive. Thank you.
So hi, I'm Isabella and I'm the new coalition coordinator, and thank you, Town Board, for providing me the time to update you on everything Thrive is doing. So Thrive, Bedford, Lewisboro, and Pound Ridge is a driving force for combating today's substance abuse and mental health challenges by fostering healthy lifestyles through education, resources, and strategies in Bedford, Lewisboro, and Pound Ridge. Thrive is working on capacity building as well as training. The funding is providing myself and the chair of Thrive, Sally Corbett-Turco, to attend seminars, including one we recently attended in Scarsdale Library, which covered teen alcohol use. One of the presenters actually discussed Alcopops, which are alcoholic beverages made to taste like soda, punch, and lemonade. And what we learned is that these large cans, pretty much about this big, actually contain 4 to 6 servings of alcohol. And then most teens, because it comes in one can, they think it's 1 serving of alcohol. Also, I did attend a 3-day CADCA conference in February, and CADCA stands for Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America, which teaches a range of different topics on drug and alcohol use, as well as coalition building. I also attend monthly coalition meetings, in which are county-wide meetings where we discuss different initiatives the coalitions are doing throughout Westchester County. I'm eager to share some updates on the work we've been doing a part of the Drug-Free Communities Grant. For those who may not be familiar, the DFC grant is a federal initiative aimed to strengthening community partnerships to prevent and reduce substance use among the youth. This funding supports organizations like ours in creating, implementing strategies that foster healthier communities by providing resources for education, prevention, and advocacy. Through this grant, we are actively working to raise awareness, provide education, and involve youth in conversations about substance abuse prevention. While the DFC grant focuses on youth and but the other support we receive from the 3 towns enables us to do programming regarding the adults and further the community. A key initiative in line with this grant is participation in Know to Prevent, which is an online series focused on educating young people and their parents in Westchester about the risks associated with drug use. Another Thrive effort is bringing speakers to our schools. So John Jay, we sponsored Laura Stacks from Johnny's Ambassadors on January 30th, and Laura presented at John Jay and Fox Lane. She spoke about the dangers of marijuana use in teens, highlighting long-term risks to brain development, mental health, and academic performance. She shared her personal experience helping students understand the profound impact of the drug use can have, not only on their health, but their future. Her message resonated deeply, and we are grateful for the opportunity to bring such an important conversation to our school. In addition to our educational initiatives, we recently launched a youth ambassadorship program to empower students to take an active role in promoting healthy, drug-free lifestyle with their peers. We are looking for more youth and volunteers who are passionate and making a difference and who want to help spread this important message. Lastly, if you would like to learn more about Thrive or get involved, please visit thrive-alliance.net. And thank you for your continued support as we work together to create brighter and healthier futures for our youth. Is there any questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions from the board?
I'd just like to welcome you to the coalition and looking forward to working with you and Dr. Collins and the others as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming tonight. Okay. Okay, next we have, next item is a resolution approving the 2025 Northeast Special Recreation Contract for day camp pool use and authorizing the supervisor to sign. This was in the agenda packet. If anyone has any questions, Nicole is here, but it's pretty straightforward.
So shall I move to approve the 2025 Northeast Special Recreation Contract for day camp pool use and authorize the supervisor to sign?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And I'll abstain because I'm signing. Okay. Okay. Next, we have a resolution approving Lily's Deli and Market, contract renewal for the pool concession stand and authorizing the supervisor to sign. So
Second.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Do you want to abstain?
Oh, I'll abstain. Yeah, by the way, I'm glad that Lily's doing this again, so this is good. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a local business and it's great food.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a much needed improvement to the concession.
Exactly. Next is a resolution approving Chuck Oswald annual softball tournament, Saturday, July 26th at Honor True Farm Park,
Not waiving.
and not waiving park fees.
So moved.
Second. Discussion, all in favor? Aye. Next is a resolution approving the Bring It for Brook fundraiser, Friday, May 2nd at the Lewisboro Town Park and waiving the park fees.
So moved.
What is it?
It's the young lady that lost her leg to cancer last year. So they are starting fundraising.
It's a nonprofit.
Thank you. Do we have a second? I'm sorry, I interrupted.
I'll second that. Discussion, all in favor? Aye. Next is resolution authorizing the going out to bid for the Honor True bathroom renovation. So this was a renovation that we have been talking about for a while, and we're probably getting it done. So we want to go out to bids.
move.
Four bids.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. And this is, let me just clarify, Nicole, this is gonna, basically, it's the entire fixtures,
The
the
interior,
walls, the interior,
correct, and then the exterior will be hardy plank.
right? Okay, okay. Excellent, much needed. Next is approving the Lewisboro Police Department to auction off 2 vehicles on Auctions International. It's a 2018 Chevy Tahoe and a 2016 Ford Explorer. And in addition, we're adding to this 2 generators, not on the, it's not in the agenda packet, but we're adding 2 old generators. One is 30 years old that came out of highway, and one came out of the Keeler Field water system. So we'll include those 2 as well. So
But they're not all Lewisboro Police Department stuff, right? They
No.
come from different departments.
Correct,
Okay.
but the chief is the one that puts everything to, uses auction international, from what I understand. Is that correct, Sean?
Yes.
Okay.
And
So
and
the generators are piggybacking on basically.
Yeah, it'll be another 2 items on the list that will be advertised through
But
auctions
the
international.
funds, if we are to sell them, the funds go to the individual departments from whence the equipment came, is that right?
No, these funds go into the general fund.
They go into the general fund.
Correct.
So the
And-
police vehicles, that money doesn't go back to the police department?
No, not unless we allocate it to something specific for the police department.
yeah, there's nothing stopping us from doing that, but
Right.
it's just a matter of sort of
Okay.
flow.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
Right.
I'm curious, the generators, they're like, they've been obsolesced or,
Been replaced, yeah, they stopped working about that.
okay.
Joe's back. Yeah, I didn't realize you're back there. I thought it was just Sean.
Yeah,
Thank you.
they're, one's 30 years old, one's just about 30 years old.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
they're
basically,
old.
we're auctioning for parts, which sounds like,
yeah.
okay.
Or
So
scrap
moved.
metal.
Let's grab that, yeah. Okay, so do I have a second?
Yes.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Next is a resolution appointing Jonathan Monty to the Housing Committee for a term expiring December 31st, 2026.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Next is a resolution approving the supervisor and our attorney, Greg Muschetti, to sign the grant disbursement agreement for the Crest Grant for the highway excavator. So this is the $120,000 grant that Senator Harcum provided to John Winter for the purchase of this highway excavator. So we received or should be receiving shortly, the grant disbursement agreement, which formally executes the grant. So we can then do the purchase, which we have to authorize as well tonight. And then get reimbursed.
And
So
Craig signs off on it also?
Right, yeah, so the grant agreement I think it comes to me first and then it goes to you or vice versa. It's a DocuSign.
My responsibility is that the grant disbursement agreement itself is authorized by the town board and that the town is still a viable municipal corporation.
Oh,
Pending
okay.
council, they can't give it the land to vote on. We're both right in the next 2 items.
Right.
I move that we approve the Supervisor Gonzalez and the Falchetti to sign the grant disbursement agreement for the press grant for the highway excavator.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Really?
And, I'll abstain. So we need to authorize the purchase of the excavator as well, which we put a hold, John Winter put a hold on it because the price was gonna go up by 3% March 1st. So I'd like to go ahead and,
That's no GS.
yes.
Is it on here?
No,
It's
it's not
not,
on there.
okay.
He didn't, yeah. But I have a copy of the actual purchase
So
order.
it's 120,000.
Yes,
You want to do it?
No, it's fine.
So. Anybody?
all right, so a motion that we approve the purchasing of the Kabuta excavator for the highway department,
In the amount of $120,000.
not to exceed $120,000.
And we need a
Roll
roll
call.
call.
Okay, Rich?
We got a motion and a second first, right? Second, need a second.
Second, you're second.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Dan well, John.
So it's a what? We approve buying it, and we approve getting the money to reimburse us for it.
That's correct.
Right. And next is a resolution also approving the supervisor and the attorney for this grant disbursement agreement, which I did receive already. This is the one for the solar panel installation on a true park barn roof.
Which barn is this?
This is the big building,
The
the
big
big
barn?
barn, right?
Also known as Attic Treasures Home?
Yes.
Correct, yeah.
So we got the check right?
No, it's a grant disbursement agreement, and now we actual work, so we go out to bid. And then it's $100,000 grant.
I move that we approve Supervisor Gonzalez and Attorney Falchetti signing the grant disbursement agreement of the Crest Grant for solar panels at On a True Park Farm for the barn.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next is a resolution approving the countywide shared services initiative distribution agreement authorizing the supervisor to sign it. So basically what this is we use, we have access to RTC, which is a real-time crime center, provided by the county. And as a municipality, we have access to that service. It's used by our police department. And they had, for 2020, I think it was, they had some savings that year, which now the county wants to share with the municipalities. So in order to get our $17,040.10, I need to sign this document and send it back to the county.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Tony, do you want to abstain
Oh,
from that one?
I abstain. Let me go to the next one. So the next one is a resolution setting the public hearing for the extension of the building permit term. So this came out of the new structure that we put in place for building permits, where now when you apply for a building permit, instead of a one-year term on the permit, applicants will have 3 years. And this is a change in our code, which will require a public hearing.
When do you want to set it for?
We can set it for the 24th, 2 weeks. Is that fine?
Draft law shortly.
So,
We have another
so how does that
public
work with, because Janet, you need to post it by, I always forget this, but it's,
The Friday
Is it by-
before, isn't it?
Well.
No, 10 days
is it,
before.
it's, it's 5 days, that's right. I'm thinking 2 weeks, but it's 5 days, okay.
Just, amendment of section 91-4, which is the building permit term. I think it's 18 months now. It's only 36.
18 going to 36, okay, yep, you're right,
That'll coincide with the new fee schedule.
correct, right.
So Janet is setting up time for you.
Yeah, if I get it by 10 a.m., I have to have it in by 10 a.m. tomorrow, and it'll be in on Friday.
By 10 a.m. tomorrow, you have it ready? It's easy, so yes.
What triggers the public
I can
hearing? Just a
say
legislative
something.
change?
It's actually local law.
Just the legislature.
Chapter 91.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, we got a motion.
got a motion?
Second.
Discussion, all in favor? Aye. Okay, next we have public comment for new business only. Anybody here would like to speak about the new business items? Anybody in the audience? Anybody over Zoom? Oh, actually, we have somebody.
So it's my first time being.
You have to come up to the, yeah. And it's the new business items on the agenda.
I have no new business, but I wanted to congratulate you and John for doing a great work
Oh,
at
thank
our
you.
colony. And I'm happy to see the Lewisboro. I live here like for 5 years. And I see everything like perfect, I would say, because the good things, they never have a limit. And I want to thank you, Tony, again, and thank you, John, and thank you everyone for supporting and helping us, keeping our roads and our community safe.
Thank you
So
very
thank you.
much.
Could you just put your name on the record?
Abbas Nouza.
Holiday, yes.
Welcome.
Thank you, Abaz. Okay, anybody else here? Public comment for new business, for the new business item? How about on Zoom, Janet? No?
No.
Okay, all right. Next we have approval of claims,
So moved.
Second.
discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Announcements, the next town board meeting is March 24th, 2025 at 7:30 PM at the Townhouse, 11 Main Street, South Salem. And polling of the board. That, sorry, should have done that before, but it's. Anybody want to say anything? Rich, start with you.
Just a couple items quick. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's almost upon us. Just want to let everybody know I've reached out to try and invite Congressman Lawler to town board meetings. So we made communications with district director and the scheduler. So we've gotten a response. We were shooting for the 24th, but the congressman's going to be in DC. So I'm trying to insist that we have him in person. So we've offered up April and stay after our congressman so we can have in-person discussion and get people in our community an opportunity to ask the congressman questions and to hear from them about what's going on. Keep you apprised.
Thank you. Andrew,
I have nothing tonight.
Mary,
I attended the volunteer fair at the library, and it was heartening to see not only the people coming out to want to volunteer, but all the different nonprofit organizations in town, including LVAC and the various fire departments, as well as the library and the various committees here at the town government and beyond. So if you're interested, please reach out. If you check out resources on the town government website, you'll see what openings there are, and you just send an email to benefits@lewisboronewyork.gov with your interest and CV, and we will get back to you. We look forward to having you help us make a difference for everyone in Lewisboro.
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah, we had a couple of very interesting, passionate people come by the table and show an interest in the pedestrian bike stuff, so we're very happy that they're going to be testing the waters with us in our next meeting, so that's it.
Okay, great. I have a couple of things. So one is the board had approved participating in this Housing Action Council, which is a not-for-profit organization that works with building out housing in Westchester County. And they had this, there was a program, it's a grant program called the +1 ADU. ADU means, stands for accessory dwelling unit, which we permit within our town code. So if you have a garage, and you want to build an apartment over your garage, you can do that as of right. You still have to adhere to building codes, et cetera. But the Housing Action Council were successful. So I received this email last week. They were successful in getting the grant, which means that Lewisboro now is part of this program that will allow residents who are interested in building an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit. You will have access potentially to $124,000 through this program to do the work. So that's some good news there.
So do they reach out to you?
Yeah, so I'm waiting for the they haven't finalized the contract with through the state. So there's a contract with New York State. And once they have that contract, they're going to circle back with me and we'll take it to the next step.
Is the housing committee, are they gonna have any role with that?
The role that we have as a town is to market this initiative, right? And that's all we have to do. So the housing committee is aware of this. So if they can assist in that marketing effort, yeah. The other thing is NYSEG. I've been getting calls and people have been asking about NYSEG rates. And I spoke to them about 2 weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, to try to get like they're doing in Yorktown and Carmel. They're having basically a customer, they call it a customer connection event. The two that are scheduled for Yorktown and Carmel, this was advertised in the email that went out by the town last Friday. But this event is actually being coordinated between Assembly Member Matt Slater and New York State Senator Peter Harcum. So there's it's going to be 2 days, Wednesday, March 12th, that's this Wednesday, at 363 Underhill Avenue in Yorktown, which is the Yorktown Town Hall. And the first session is between 1 and 3, and the next session is between 5 and 7. And then on Thursday the 13th at the Carmel Town Hall at 60 McAlpin Avenue in Mayapack, same thing. First session is between 1 and 3. The next session is between 5 and 7. So this is an opportunity if you have questions, issues related to your bill that you're not sure of or would like to get clarification on, you can go and meet with a customer service rep. We held one of those here a while back here in the townhouse, but this time around, we couldn't do it, although our state representatives are trying to do something that will be closer to the folks who live here in Lewisboro, Bedford, Pound Ridge, North Salem.
But it's open to all nights.
It's open to everyone, yeah. So you just go there with your bill. Some of the things that I question NYSEG about their rates. So they the rates have been. So one thing I want to point out is that NYSEG does not control the supply rates. They only control the delivery of the electricity. And those rates are set by the PSC, the Public Service Commission. But NYSEG buys the power, right, from the power generating companies. What's been happening is that the supply rates have been going up. And particularly folks that have what they call day-night or peak off-peak, and also time of use rate programs. Those have larger fluctuations because those rates are not hedged. So if you're on a standard plan with NYSEG, the rate is hedged, right? So which means that they lock in pricing by purchasing power ahead of time, and they can pass on the savings by doing that to the customer. The complaints that I've been getting are mainly from folks that live, for example, in Oak Ridge, condos, or the Meadows in Cross River, where they use electric heat. And traditionally, those units they were built with electric heat, and they were all put on these day-night rates, right? But now with the way the supply is fluctuating quite a bit, they're the ones that are spending, they're getting hurt the most in terms of the supply rate fluctuation. So just to give you an idea, look at the rates, on the NYSEG website. We've had days just a couple of weeks ago where the rates hit close to 20 plus 21 cents a kilowatt hour, where normally it should be around 10 cents, right? So it's like double. 18 cents, 21, 20, 18. And so my recommendation to folks, we don't have, people ask, well, do you have an option? They ask about the Westchester Power Program that we have, which was a fixed rate for a year. We don't have that anymore, right? So the board elected not to renew that program. So the only advice I'm giving folks is to call NYSEG and come off of if you have time of use or day-night, or also called peak off peak, move over to the standard rate solution or plan. That's a recommendation. Obviously, you should call NYSEG, but based on what I've seen compared to, like, for example, my bill, which is a standard rate, yeah, people are paying a lot more. And what NYSEG also said to me about a week and a half ago is that, they're keeping a close eye on these, we're hearing about tariffs, right? With natural gas comes from Canada. So natural gas is used by some of the power generation companies that NYSEG buys power from. And in addition, the state of New York gets power from Ontario. And so they said, depending on what happens with the tariffs, that will also impact the rates. And coincidentally, just today, Ontario put a 25% tariff on the electrical supply they're selling to New York. So yeah, and so that's going to hurt people even more. But again, my recommendation, keep your thermostats low and go on to the standard rate program. And that'll help a little bit.
We left out the part where just the state authorities authorized Con Edison and NYSEG to allow them to go outside what the rate caps were. So that's part of the reason, if not all the reason why some people's bills have doubled.
That's Con Ed. That's happening with Con Ed territory, not NYSEG.
NYSEG too.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
the state has authorized the caps to go up.
Right. Okay. So anyway, but that's if you have, and if you have any questions, come to me directly. If you want to, get my interpretation of your bill, I can do that for you. Read enough of these bills to know a little bit about what's going on there, but yeah, but definitely try to attend the NYSEG sessions. And again, this went out via our email last Friday, and I'll put it out again in another email, or we'll post it on the town's Facebook page as well. And I think that's all I had. Yeah. So now I'm going to move to go into executive session. Thank you, Mary. To discuss personnel matter. So thank you everyone for coming out tonight. And thank you everyone oh, actually I had one more point. Sorry. Regarding, I had a note here. I didn't look at my notepad. There was a question about paving. And so I know we have people here who are asking about the paving. So the way paving works is our highway department, they go around and they look at the roads, right? And they put together a list of the roads that need paving. On top of that, we get people calling in and say, please come look at my road. It's been bad, it's been years. And then we take a look at all those roads. We put on the list. John Winter goes through it. Used to be Peter Rippiger. And he makes a determination as to what the priority is, depending on the budget. Now, this year, we did increase the budget quite a bit. But in terms of, there was a question about Vista. Vista actually got a decent amount of roads paved this year. So reach out to John Winter and he'll tell you exactly which roads were paved. But we had some very happy people in Vista who got the roads paved. But that's that's paving. We don't have any more public comments. So sorry. Yeah. Email me or call me. Yeah.
One thing. All three entrances, like for
Yeah.
for 2 or 3 weeks, they were like very like hard to get through them.
Right.
That is why we're pushing.
Got it. Yeah, we know. Yeah. Okay, don't worry. We got it.
You want to
But-
mention the GBHO thing next week?
Sure, go ahead.
Well, not at it, so.
Okay, so what Rich is asking me about, or asking me to mention is the Golden Bridge Hamlet Organization are having, and I guess some Golden Bridge people are here. At, I think it's at Increase Miller, I think, I'm not sure. But I can find out. They're having I don't have my phone, but they're having a Hamlet organization meeting for the public to attend. They've asked me to come there to speak about what's going on in town and things that are going on in Golden Bridge. So
When is it?
it's you know what, it's March 18th.
Which is one day of the week is that?
Tuesday.
I think it's Tuesday and it's 18th. It is at Increase Miller Elementary School. Increase Miller at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Yes. So if you're on I know this is specific to the Golden Bridge community, and usually what they do, the Hamlet organization, they have an email blast for anyone that's on their email group. So that's how the word got out.
Yeah.
I found out about it because they called me and said, "Can you come?"
They were a very good group, John Monday.
Yeah. Right, yeah. So if you're, and anybody, I guess anybody that's listening and wants to attend, you're more than welcome. So thank you very much. Now we'll go to executive session. Have a good night, everyone. Good night, everyone on Zoom. Thanks.